What's good, YouTube? Vakasa Coffee here. So, we're gonna do some Tim Minchin for you guys. We got a song called Not Perfect. I believe this one has been requested by some people in the comments at certain points. Very excited for some more Tim. This guy always gets me going whenever it comes to his lyricism. He is a very poetic lyricist with a lot to say, and he has his own way of saying it that is very hilarious, right? He is a very comical kind of guy whenever it comes to his approach on things. His more serious music is also fantastic. So I love all of the different elements we've seen at Tim thus far, and I'm excited to check out another piece from him. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe for me. We talk about mental health, addiction, world issues, everything in between. Break down all the lyrics, instrumentation, stage performance. I believe this is a live version of the song in this video right here. So we will see what Mr. Tim Minchin gives us with this one. I really enjoy his style of lyricism. Like I said, I like going the whole 9 yards on busting the lyrics out for you guys. I think that there's a lot of beneficial stuff we get to talk about. There's a lot of different opportunities to talk about super specific instances of life and have conversations and reflections about those kinds of things. So that's the beauty of music and lyricism, is that you can really dive into deep topics whenever it comes to analyzing a song the way we do on here. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you need help with mental health or addiction and that's something you struggle with, please go get it. There are people who care and want to see you do better. Most of them have been through it themselves. I get on here and talk to you guys because I've been through it myself and I pulled myself out of it. It's the hardest thing I ever did in my whole life. It's a lot of emotional shit to sort out whenever you come out on the other side of that. So it's been a blessing to hang out with you guys and do that on here and discuss all of the amazing things that we've gotten to discuss. Please go get yourself help if you need it. You can live a better life and then encourage other people to do the same thing as well. I think it's very important to do that on the other side of things once you've came out from those vices that you found yourself stuck in. So we're going to get into some Tim Minchin for you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm Vakasa Coffee. A reaction video a day or two. Keep the doctor away. Fuck those apples. We got some Tim Minchin with the song Not Perfect.
This is a song about that feeling I think we all get sometimes, where you feel like you're the smallest doll in a babushka doll.
That's a good way to put it.
This is my earth, and I live in it. It's 1/3 dirt and 2/3 water, and it rotates and revolves through space at rather an impressive pace, and never even messes up my hair. And here's a really weird thing: the force created by its spin is the force that stops the chaos flooding in.
Wow.
This is...
He's smart, man. I love whenever he gets into his smart lyrics. He has a lot of those inside of his songs. He's very intelligent. The way that he's building this concept here is absolutely amazing, because I get where he's going with this song, but the way he started it with the first verse is just, it puts a lot into perspective, right? This is my earth and I live in it. It's 1/3 dirt and 2/3 water, and it rotates and revolves through space at rather an impressive pace, and never even messes up my hair. Yeah. And then he says, and here's a really weird thing: the force created by its spin is the force that stops the chaos flooding in. Could you imagine if the earth stopped for a single, instance like milliseconds, macroseconds. I don't know what would happen. Everything would probably, I don't know. Here, let's read this long annotation. The Earth's magnetosphere protects us from the solar radiation given off by our sun. Yes. Without it, our atmosphere and oceans would be slowly stripped away. In contrast, Mars lost its atmosphere after its molten core cooled and solidified, thereby dissipating its magnetic field. Yes, sir. The astronomy and physics lyrics, though. You gotta love it, man. You gotta appreciate Tim whenever he does stuff like that. He's like, the fact that this planet is spinning the way it is the whole reason that everything is in place in the first place. It would all fall to shit if the Earth were to stop, right? It's crazy to think about, man. A slight change in rotation or a change in position would drastically alter the history of everything that's ever happened on the planet. That's what he's talking about, man. Tim is deep. I love whenever he gets into stuff like this.
My earth, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect.
Man. Leave it to Tim Minchin to write a section that is a total love song for the Earth. The Earth, man. He wrote a love section for the Earth, and that's beautiful. That is really beautiful right there. This is my Earth, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. I love it. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. That's so wonderful. Now, perfectly imperfect, right? Everything is aligned as it should be for everything to be happening as it should be, but there is still much imperfection inside of it. And then you could get into simulation theory and everything like that in between, and you'll really fucking blow your brain out of the water trying to wrap your head around that being a possibility. Until you realize that it's probably the most likely one in a lot of instances. The odds are stacked in that favor, right? It's crazy to think about little stuff like that, even though we can't necessarily prove it. You can see and wonder the little inconsistencies of your environment, glitches as people would call them. Those videos are really interesting to watch, with weird stuff happening inside of textures and shit like that. But it's all up for debate. It could be optical illusions in a lot of instances, could be faked and CGI with the technology nowadays, but it's always interesting to ponder that kind of stuff as well. I love that he wrote that for the Earth inside of that verse and chorus. That's really awesome right there. Beautiful singing in this one. He's got such a chill vibe to him. I like the piano a lot. This is a nice performance right here. I like it.
This is my country.
Yeah.
And I live in it.
There you go.
It's pretty big and nice to walk on.
Yeah.
And the bloke who runs my country has built a demagoguery and taught us to be fearful and boring.
I love it.
And the weirdest thing is that he is conservative of politics, but really rather radical of eyebrows. This is my...
Tim really don't care, man. He really don't care. I love it. I love it so much. Let's get to this chorus.
my country, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my house.
This guy. So he starts. The writing is brilliant, first off. So he starts very vast, the whole earth, right? He starts there. And then he reduces it in the second verse to his country, which we're going to cover here. But at the start of the third verse there, he just said, "This is my house, and I live in it." So he's reducing it to the more meaningful and personal aspects of life as he goes on through the verses, and I like that structure a lot. It's a really nice way to write. Very, very nice way to write here. He says, "This is my country and I live in it." It's pretty big and nice to walk on. And the bloke who runs my country has built a demagoguery and taught us to be fearful and boring. Man, there's an annotation for that. Hold on. It's the definition of demagoguery, an appeal to people that plays on their emotions and prejudices rather than on their rational side. Yes. That's pretty much the whole entire system. Who ran it when this song was written specifically? Because this was a while ago. At the time the song was written, the conservative right John Howard was Prime Minister in Australia. On later occasions, Tim Minchin omitted this verse as Howard was no longer in office. Oh, he must have liked whoever got in better if he removed the whole verse, because he must have felt differently. Well, that's nice to know at least. You guys will have to fill me in on that. Was the next one better? Because he did remove it, which means he must have appreciated the next person a bit more to not want that verse inside of the song at all anymore. You know what I mean? This is my country and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. It's a song about still viewing the things around you as beautiful and having a nice essence, even though it's not perfect all the time. That's the ultimate message that he is getting at with this, but he's describing it very beautifully with the lyrics of this. I like this.
I'm not living in. It's made of cracks and photographs.
Wow.
We rented off a guy who bought it from a guy who bought it from a guy whose granddad left it to him.
Love it.
And the weirdest thing is that this house has locks to keep the baddies out, but they're mostly used to lock ourselves in. This is my house and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect, but it's mine.
I love it. I like that one a whole lot. Beautiful lyricism and funny too. Humor inside of there. This is my house and I live in it. It's made of cracks and photographs. That is a beautiful, beautiful line right there. I really love his lyricism. We rented off a guy who bought it from a guy who bought it from a guy whose granddad left it to him. Yeah, that's about right nowadays, though. The weirdest thing is that this house has locks to keep the baddies out, but they're mostly used to lock ourselves in. Yeah, that's because everything's out there too. That's what he's saying. He's like, we'd rather not go deal with all of that out there, you know? Introvert things. Tim mentions. It says he's on introvert timing. This is my house and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. Beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get into the rest.
This is my body, and I live in it. It's 31 and 6 months old. It's changed a lot since it was new. It's done stuff it wasn't built to do. I often try to fill it up with wine. And the weirdest thing about it is I spend so much time hating it, but it never says a bad word about me. This is my body,
Wow.
and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my brain.
Oh, he's so wonderful. Like I said, he's just reducing it more and more, and it's amazing. He said, this is my body and I live in it. He actually switched it up. He said it's 31 and 6 months old. 29 and 12-month old is what he said in the original, so he would have been 30. That's funny. That's funny that he wrote it like that on the original to say he was 30. That's awesome. Now he's 31 and 6 months old in this one. 3:16. God so loved the world he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him will never die but have eternal life. All over the place. He says, this is my body and I live in it. It's 31 and 6 months old. It changed a lot since it was new. It's done stuff it wasn't built to do. Yeah. You start to wonder once you do so many things that you feel could harm your body and you're still just like surviving life. I mean, you baffle yourself with what the human body can rebound from. Honestly, it's a resilient thing. The human body can heal from the most detrimental things and just bounce back into life again. Man, he says I often try to fill it up with wine, and the weirdest thing about it is I spend so much time hating it, but it never says a bad word about me. He's like, I'm over here hating my body, doing all this stuff that messes it up, and taking these risks and whatever it is, right? Doing things I wasn't built to do. He's like, and it's never said a bad word to me about it. Yeah, that's life for you. I can relate. I lived like that for a lot of years of my life. He says, this is my body and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine, he says. I love it. I love stuff like this. This is really creative.
This is my brain.
Yeah.
And I live in it. It's made of love and bad song lyrics. It's tucked away behind my eyes, where all my screwed up thoughts can hide. 'Cause God forbid I hurt somebody. And the weirdest thing about a mind is that every answer that you find is the basis of a brand new cliche. This is my brain, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. I'm not quite sure I've worked out how to work it. It's not perfect, but it's mine.
That was beautiful right there. That was a really good song. I love the way that he approached that. That is super solid right there. Very, very solid approach on the song here. He said, "This is my brain and I live in it. It's made of love and bad song lyrics." The self-deprecation, though. I always love somebody who's not afraid to poke fun at their self inside of their song lyrics. I try to do it to my own self in a lot of instances. Throw in a little self roast from time to time. It's a nice touch to song lyrics, right? It's tucked away behind my eyes, where all my screwed up thoughts can hide, he says. He said fucked up in the lyrics sheet, which means he censored it for this particular performance. He said, "'Cause God forbid I hurt somebody, and the weirdest thing about my mind is that every answer that you find is the basis of a brand new cliche." Man. Wow. Yeah. The way that he says things makes you think, right? You have to, really consider his lyrics whenever he says stuff like that. Every answer that you find is the basis of a brand new cliche. It's just going to be the next thing that got tossed to the side, essentially, as maybe an answer. That's what he's saying. It's just a cliche. It just becomes textbook at a certain point, right? You're just used to it. That's what he's saying. Man, this is my brain and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. I'm not sure I worked out how to work it. It's not perfect, but it's mine. He's saying, I don't know if I am using my brain right. I got some problems and there's issues inside of it. It's not perfect, but everything else around me isn't perfect either. So we are perfectly fine. That is what Tim Minchin is saying inside of this song right here. I really appreciate the sentiment of this song, just accepting that things are not perfect and being fine with the circumstance. That's a very beautiful message. Tim is special, man. I really like Tim a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a really nice song, brilliantly structured, wonderfully written, original video in the description. As always, subscribe to Tim, support the artists we have on the channel, go show them love. That's what we do this for. We get to talk about a lot of awesome things and encourage each other and just spread some knowledge and good vibes with each other. I appreciate you guys tuning in so much. Thank you for everything. Go get help if you need it. Live your best life. I'm Vakasa Kavi. A reaction video a day or two. Keep the doctor away. Fuck those those apples. Leave a like for me, comment those suggestions, subscribe up this way, bang the notification bell for me. I'll see you guys in the next ones. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Have a blessed night. Peace.